All right. Well, I think we're live now.
All right.
Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm good, James. How are you?
I'm good. Um, I'm happy to have you on, and I'm still getting over your hat right now. Oh.
I told you I was going to wear it.
If you don't know, I inspired Scott with this card right here to wear this hat. Uh, were you a fan of boxing growing up?
Not really.
No,
No,
you just love that this hat right here.
I just love that hat.
You know what makes me think of that hat? The hat, Caddyshack. When I would see one of the characters when he was trying to get on the boat and impress the I don't even remember the actors' names, but he had the hat on, trying to fit in and everything. I got a second guest here wants
There
to
he
be
is.
hanging out with us. Okay, so basically we are gonna get into the life and times of Scott Reindeer Studios. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Well, I guess I want to know, and I guess some of the viewers might want to know, when did you start drawing? At what age?
As long as I can remember. I can't
Really?
remember
Since
not drawing. Nope.
drawing on your parents' walls and everything with crayons?
Yep.
Were you always good, or did you get good slowly over time?
Um, I wouldn't say good, but I guess I had um, there was a lot of work involved, but I did have some natural talent.
Natural talent.
Yeah.
And were you always the type to draw in the lines in your coloring books, or you would just chaos?
I don't remember using coloring books all that often. I would just draw my own pictures instead.
Really?
Yeah.
So where did you study art?
I went to Kent State University and the Art Institute of Pittsburgh.
Really?
Hmm.
So you have degrees and everything,
I
and
do.
right from college, did you just start working for a company, or you worked for yourself?
Yeah, I got a, degree in visual communications, so that let me get into graphic design jobs, and that's where I make most of my money.
Wow. And have you done any work for a famous company or anything like that?
Um, I've done work for lots of local hospitals and things like that, and like I've done work for Ronald McDonald House,
Oh,
and
wow.
I did like big murals on the inside. I've also done work for like promotional things for like Nike and things like that.
Pretty cool. So is the most challenging work for the YouTube community?
That's the most rewarding work, I think.
Uh,
It's
we are fans of your work. I myself am a huge fan. When I saw you doing the 11-8, you would always see my comments putting in females for you to draw females because you always drew old men, and it used to drive me nuts.
I'm sorry.
I don't understand why people would always put old men for you to draw. They look beautiful, look nice. I'd rather see you draw Raquel Welch or Marilyn Monroe, but it was always old men.
Hmm.
But that was great.
Thanks.
And then you slowly evolved into the hunt for the Holy Grail saga.
Right?
How's that coming along?
I'm almost there. Only a few left to go. There's a
Really?
couple big ones.
Couple big ones.
Yep.
Well, I can't wait to see the future videos.
Yeah.
I, has there been like a picture that you probably had a lot of pride in, or a piece that was hard to let go once you finished it and you had to ship it off?
I think the hardest one was the Larry Doby painting I did for Nina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I really like that one. Another one I really liked was this Bob Feller piece. It's kind of like a 3D piece I did for my son,
Oh,
so I didn't really have to let it go, which kind of
that's good. I would have thought the latest one with Satchel Paige would have been one of your tougher ones.
I want to paint that. So like doing the charcoal was nice, and it was a little tough to let go, but excited about doing something bigger with that image.
Okay. And I guess we see that you do magic markers,
Hmm.
charcoal.
Right.
I've even seen you do something with where you put like a piece of metal paper. I don't remember what you call that. And you put the gold
The
leaf.
gold leaf. Okay. Yeah.
Right. That was beautiful. What other mediums do you use?
Um, I'll use anything really. I lately I've been really wanting to get back into painting.
Okay.
Um, and I did a few ink washes, and I like printmaking, so I'd like to incorporate some of that eventually.
Wow. I used to draw,
Yeah.
and I never took it to the point where I saw myself doing it professionally because I myself couldn't stand going back to the drawing board. And teachers I think did that to break you. But when I was younger, I couldn't handle that rejection. I thought my piece was a masterpiece, and then they would pick it apart and it would crush me inside. How do you handle that?
I'm dealing with that right now. Actually, I've got a client that I don't want to say too much, but this isn't for 11D8 or the
Right.
Holy Grail quest or anything. This is um, actual football players
Oh,
that
wow.
they're they weren't expecting what I did. I think they were expecting something else. So I just have to grin and bear it.
Ah,
But
more power
it's
to
all going
you.
to work out.
More power to you. Do you like drawing basketball players, football players, or baseball players? Like
Baseball is my favorite. Always
baseball,
has been.
really?
Yep.
So, is there like a fond memory you have of growing up with baseball, like with your dad, or just watching, playing with friends?
I enjoyed playing baseball. I was never any good at it. Um, I really got into it in '88. That's when I started collecting cards and going to games. My first game was in '88, and I still have the scorecard from it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um,
And do you remember going to the Indians games a lot?
yeah.
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 How
There's
many times would you go?
always you could get a ticket anytime you wanted because that stadium was huge. It sat like almost 80,000 people, and maybe 5,000 would be there. So it's kind of weird at times, but um,
Okay.
we would go maybe 2 or 3 times a year
Okay.
when I was a kid.
2 or 3 times. Who was your
Yeah.
favorite player growing up?
Growing up, it was probably a toss up between Joe Carter and Corey Snyder.
I would have guessed those two.
Yeah.
Corey Snyder was huge.
Yeah.
Never amounted to be the player that they hyped him up to be, but he was always a chase card growing up. And always you remember him as being one of the main guys with Joe Carter. It was three, wasn't there? There was three players.
Julio Franco was around then. I
Julio
liked him a
Franco.
lot.
Nah.
Then there was like Brooke Jacoby
Brooke
and
Jacoby, I think that was the other one.
Pat Tabler was pretty big back then too.
And then you get into your heyday, like around 95,
Right.
Albert Bell and all the, Carlos Baega. How was those years for you?
Those were fun. I was actually living in Pittsburgh like from 95 to 98. So that was kind of frustrating that I was away, but not that far away. So
Okay. So you remember going there and celebrating with your team a little bit.
yep.
It was a bummer.
Yeah.
95.
95, not so much. 97 was the heartbreaker.
97.
Yeah.
Well, it was a heartbreaker for me as a Yankee fan because you eliminated us that year. And you got Mariano. You made him look very mortal that year. And I remember he said, never again am I gonna, cough it up again like I did this time. Sandy Alomar. Oof. Gives me nightmares. So going back to your art.
Okay.
You would draw things for athletes. I remember even in the national, you had Jim Tomey sign something, right?
Yeah.
You do that a lot, I'm assuming. It's probably part of your PC.
Yeah, it is part of my PC, and I think it's neat because I'm the only one that has that, and I have kind of branched out, and I do some for a promoter that I work with, and
Okay.
we get the players' permission. We don't usually get the team's permission, so we
Okay.
kind of like fudge it.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find Tommy here. Look. All right. There's Jimmy.
Look at that piece. It's gorgeous. And which others can you share with us there? What do you got there?
Let's see. We talked about Corey Snyder,
Yeah.
so it's kind of fun to meet him. Got him in the
Wow.
Olympic uniform there.
Look at that. Wow. So do you gravitate more towards your Indian guys?
I do, because they're more available around here,
Okay.
so I get what I can get. But
Okay.
when I can branch out, I will.
Right. And do you have any Hall of Famers that you might be very prideful of?
See, one of my first was. See, I'm finding real quick here.
Oh wow, Al Kaline.
Yep.
Look at that beauty. Wow, I love how you did the bat like a blur.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
So that was actually one of my first when I started the channel.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, I wasn't watching you back then. I probably caught you mid stride there.
Mm-hmm.
So is autographs like your main thing that you love to PC?
I kind of love them. They're my kids' autographs, and then the cards. But like these autographs are special because I did the art and I meet the player, and there's something that's really cool about that for me.
Of course, I could imagine. And it's not like a doodle. Like I know you do doodles, but it's not like some kid little doodle somewhere. Like they're professional looking pieces. What reaction do you get about the ball players when they see these?
Most of them are really good. Like they want to know if I did it, and I usually offer them a copy if they're interested.
Wow. Who gave you the best reaction when they saw your piece?
Doc Gooden was really good.
Really?
Yeah. He was just really, really appreciative.
Wow.
Shane Bieber was pretty good.
Ooh, you got the man right there.
And then Joe Charbonneau.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I love it.
That guy likes to talk. He was real friendly.
He was probably excited after he saw that, man. So, do you autograph also? You collect autograph cards?
I do.
Look at
There's Doc.
Wow. That's so beautiful. And is there any like autograph which you're like, oh man, I can't believe I own this autograph? Is there prideful one in your collection that number 1, 2, and 3 maybe?
Not yet.
No?
No, there's a couple like white whales that I'm after, but I've got like Elmer Flick. He played for the Naps. That's kind of like one of my oldest ones.
Okay.
I have him, so that one's pretty neat.
Okay.
I paid up for that a little bit. As far as the ones I've gotten myself, and none of these are real hard to get, but this is one of my favorites here.
Len Barker
and Morgana.
And is that Morgana?
Yep.
The Kissing Bandit. How'd you get them both?
Len was doing a private signing.
Okay.
So I got him first. And then I just mailed them to Morgana, and she had them back in a few months. She made me sweat it out a little bit, but.
Did she write you back a note of how great she thought it was or anything?
Not really.
No?
No, she just signed them and sent them back.
She's probably considered like a celebrity, basically, right? Because she would chase down these players all throughout the 80s and 90s.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So Another thing, based on cards, I know you like to collect a lot of vintage and even modern cards. What do you tend to gravitate to? What could you say is like mainly your focus with card collecting?
I'm working on all the flagship tops Indians cards right now.
Okay.
My favorite ones to buy are from the 50s
Okay.
because like the team was just so like awesome back then.
Right. And then they got players like Bob Feller, which
Right,
you can't get enough of a player like that. You
right.
know,
Hmm.
he's one of my favorite players from Cleveland, and I could say maybe Nap Lajoie is another one that
Right.
I think he's spectacular or what have you. But there were plenty. Cleveland's rich in history and tradition. Is there a card that you own from Cleveland that you're? I know you're chasing Cy Young, but is there another one that you're very prideful of?
I have this is my favorite card. It's not my most expensive one,
Okay,
but it's my T206 Addy Joss portrait.
beautiful. It's gorgeous. What grade is that?
That is a 2.
A two. It's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And being that you draw a lot, is there a specific set back in, I guess, pre-war vintage that you tend to just gravitate to because you love the art?
So pre-war, I like the 50 through 52 Bowman.
Okay.
I think those just look really neat and they're bold and colorful.
Right. I tend to like the Diamond Stars
Yeah, Diamond Stars are really, really cool too.
because of the color, the pop art deco design.
Yeah.
It's just one of a kind. You know it's Diamond Stars when you see it.
Definitely.
All right. So I want to basically say that I reached out to Scott and I told him when he did a video with Eric Fourleaf, I guess you could explain what was your idea behind
Okay,
it.
so we were doing a bunch of video responses where the prompt was to create a lineup, and I always thought it would be neat for two of us to get together who like different teams and create a lineup that has players that played for both of those teams. And with Four Leaf, I did the Red Sox, and it was a pretty killer team. And tonight we're going to do the Yankees and the Indians, and I think it's also a pretty good team. It'd be neat to see them head to head.
So do you hope to eventually do the Indians and every team with someone from YouTube? Is that your goal?
That would be fun, but we'll see.
Okay.
I talked about it with Don from Don's Field of Dreams. I see him in there. And the Indians Pirates team is not so good. But it'd still be fun.
Well, it gets a little tough and challenging because it might be like an obscure player, and then the last thing is to hope to even have that card. It's tough. You
But
made me think.
I'd like to see other people do these without me, you know?
Right, like cross Yankees and Pittsburgh or Yankees Red Sox with like someone like Picker Jim S or something. And I'd like to say hi to the chat room. Don Field of Dreams, ReeseND D, Mark Rudolph, Bink Scott, Don Field of Dreams is here, Picker Jim S. Hey guys, how are you guys? So we're going to start this lineup, which we're going to do as Scott described. It's going to be a mashup between both teams. They had to play for both teams at one point. They're not eligible if they didn't play for the Yankees and the Indians. That's the criteria. And we're going to field all 9 positions plus DH and 5 starters. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, so we're going to go position by position. And by the way, if you guys have any questions you want to ask Scott, because this is my first time having Scott, it has to be good, PC, you know, an official question, and maybe you can have fun trying to stump them or something. So we're going to go with first base. Someone who played for the Yankees and Indians. I went with my guy here, Jason Giambi.
Hey, look who I got. Jason Giambi.
Jason Giambi. So we were on board with that.
Great clubhouse guy.
Great guy. I guess the steroids is the only draw for I guess what marred his career.
Hmm.
MVP winner, but definitely a thumper and probably one of the bigger names we'll have in this lineup. But there's some others. I guess moving on to second base, I'll let you present this one. Who do you got?
All right, I got a Hall of Famer,
Okay.
and he played in the 40s and 50s. We have Joe Gordon.
And that's the Leaf. What a beauty.
Yeah.
Wow, grade 4. I love it.
So that was the end of his career,
Okay.
but it's still his rookie card.
And you have him with the Indians uni there.
Yep.
I have him. He's my choice with the
Awesome.
Yankees uni.
Nice.
So this is the Bomb Bread card from 1947. And we traded the Indians and traded. That's how we ended up with Joe Gordon.
Right. You got Ali Reynolds, is that right?
It was Ali Reynolds, I believe. And he won the MVP from Ted Williams. It still sticks in the Red Sox craw that he stole the MVP from Ted Williams.
And he was big part in the 48 Indians World Series team too.
Yeah, he was a great player. Hall
Yeah.
of Famer, like you said. Someone that wasn't a Hall of Famer. We're going to move on to shortstop.
Okay.
I think it's no secret who we're going to go with for the third time.
I think we're different here.
Alvaro Espinosa. I'm going. That's your main guy.
I got Alvaro, but not for
shortstop.
Yeah, I appreciate you putting him in there, though.
I didn't know who else to go with as shortstop. Who you got there?
Joe Sewell.
Joe Sewell.
Okay. Joel, let's see. I have his stats over here. You couldn't strike this guy out. He played here we go. He played 14 years. He averaged less than 10 strikeouts per year.
Okay.
He's got like a 314 batting average lifetime. It's like that. I find that incredible.
Yeah, he's definitely better than Alvaro Espinosa. But even if I wanted Joe Sewell, I don't have a Joe Sewell card. So you have me beat in that department. So
there you go.
It was also a matter of what I have in my PC.
That makes sense.
You can elect third base.
All right. So this one's for you. Greg Nettles.
Nice. 71 also. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
We are on the same page except
for
shortstop. Greg Nettles. That's my 1975. I love him. He was like a cat out there, snapping everything up down the line, stealing the hearts of people who thought they had doubles. He was the guy I grew up watching, loved watching, and to this point still think he's the best third baseman I've ever seen in pinstripes. Cool. Although I have to give a shout out to the one we just lost. His name is escaping me right now. The one we just lost, we traded him to the Twins.
Tip of my tongue here.
I don't know why he's Colombian. He's one of my guys.
I was thinking about him earlier today too.
He's not there. But aside from Greg Nettles, he's the closest thing that I've seen snag things and amaze me at third base. And it's killing me that I can't even think of his name right now. Anywho, we're going to move on to catcher. I'm going to elect my catcher. Play for both the Indians and Yankees. That's Rick Cerone.
Okay.
This is his 87 traded card. I love this pose, by the way.
That's a nice
one. Very beautiful card. Not a Hall of Famer and anything, but he's the only one that I found that I was like, all right, he's the one I'm going with.
Okay. And I did a video about my guy a few months ago. You have Raleigh Hemsley.
Nice.
So he's like a 5-time All-Star, I think. Really good defensive catcher. And my video was about, he was an alcoholic, and he actually was one of the very first members of AA. And Bob Feller threw an opening day no-hitter in 1940. And after that game, he came out and said, I'm an alcoholic and I'm in Alcoholics Anonymous. And it gave, like, they were mad at him at the time because it's supposed to be anonymous, but it gave that group such a good light that it grew a lot from that. So that's kind of
That's
neat
great.
story.
He took a little embarrassment, but helped shed light on the disease that is alcoholism, I guess, and show
Yeah.
there's alternatives and help. That's very inspirational. All right, so the outfield. I don't know if you want to do left field, right field, center field, or just 3 outfielders, but you could elect the outfielders.
Let's just do 3.
Okay.
All right. We got Mr. Winfield. We got Mr. Maris.
Wait.
All right.
I have the red version of
All
the
right.
same card that you had, and I have his 83 there. So we're right on board with that one.
All
Go
right.
ahead. You said Roger Maris.
Mr. Maris.
Okay.
Okay. And I was at the Strongsville show this weekend, which is a big vintage show up here in Cleveland. And I picked this up. I normally don't buy stuff like this, but this is a newspaper clipping.
Oh, wow.
When they traded him. And it was kind of funny because the Yankees wanted him and they offered Bobby Richardson. And he had said no, and they traded him to the A's. And they told the A's, do not trade him to the Yankees. And they ended up doing that a year later.
There was I did an MVP video, and Pittsburgh, I believe, was the team that was supposed to get Maris. And the player that the Indians were going to get was Dick Groat.
Mm-hmm.
And Dick Groat was in such good standings with the manager that he put the kibosh on that trade. And Dick Groat did reward him with an MVP. But that's how the Yankees were able to get him, because Pittsburgh had first dibs and the manager said, nope, I'm not giving up Dick Groat. Too important to this team.
Right.
And a lot of the storylines were rewritten because of that non-trade. So you go with Roger Maris. I got Kenny Lofton.
Look what I got.
Outfield. You got Kenny Lofton too.
Kenny.
So that's your third one, right?
Yep.
I'm going with, I do have a Roger Maris, and I know he played for both teams, but I just want to give other people light. So I figured I'd go with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going with David Justice.
There you go.
And he had cups of coffee with the Yankees and Indians, but such a professional hitter. And yes, Roger Maris is head and shoulders way above almost all of these outfielders because of what he did, breaking a record and everything. But sometimes you just want to shed light on other players.
Right. There were other good players too. There's Bobby Bonds.
Bobby Bonds.
Johnny Damon.
Well, we got DH still.
Okay.
So I guess with DH, who are you going with for DH?
I'm going with my guy, Rocky Colavito.
Nice. Sweet one.
He could mash, but he wasn't so great in the field. So I really wanted him in there. So I got him in DH.
Okay. I was crossed for DH. And like I said, I could have put Roger Maris in those positions and made this, but this is, I guess, like fantasy or whatever. So I went with 2 other names, and you already named one. Johnny Damon. I was crossed between Johnny Damon, which I probably would go with him because he's a better overall player. But if you want some thumper, Travis Hafner. He was quite a thumper.
He was.
40 home run power. Didn't have the career that, he always got hurt, it seemed like. He would get in a groove, and that was it. He would get hurt.
He was fun to watch.
Hit some bombs. Hit some bombs with the Yankees, even gave glimpses of what he could do. So now we're going to move into the pitching rotation.
Okay.
Who do you got as your, I guess, ace?
They're all aces, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to start with Gaylord.
Gaylord Perry.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to start with Ali Reynolds. We mentioned him.
Nice.
That's who I'm starting with as my ace.
I like it. I'm going to follow up Gaylord with CC.
CC Sabathia.
So you got a hard throwing lefty after your tricky righty.
Josh thinks I need to have a matching hat with you.
You do.
I don't think so. I got CC also.
Nice.
I got an example of him and his Indians and Yankees. So he did both teams proud.
Good.
Who do you got next?
I got Mr. Stan Kovalevsky.
Nice.
So played in the 20s. Really
Let me
hard
see
to
that
hit.
photograph one more time.
All right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with, he didn't have quite an illustrious career, but he did some nice things with the Yankees. Pitched a no-hitter, helped us win in 96. Dwight Gooden. Here he is with his Indians uni. Love this pick.
Good choice. I'm going to go with the 300 game winner, Phil Niekro.
Phil Niekro. Nice.
I like my knuckleballs.
This guy just pitched for like 1 month for the Yankees, but he qualified. Corey Kluber.
I really wanted to pick Corey. I love the guy. He was so fun to watch, but I'm going with Sam McDowell. I like my hard throwing left-handers.
All right. My last one is probably the sexiest man in all of baseball. The big sexy Bartolo Colon.
I like it.
Gotta go with the big sexy. And I think Eric had him also in his team. He played for almost every team.
Yep.
So that'll be my 5. And then we move on to reliever.
Right.
Who do you got at reliever?
So my closer is Mr. Bob Wickman.
Nice. You got an autograph copy.
Yep.
It's Bob Wickman.
Awesome.
The only one. Well, I had another one I was thinking about, and that's Mr. Midge, Jabba Chamberlain, but Jabba Chamberlain didn't have what Bob Whitman did, especially for the Indians. He was lights out. I think he had a 40 save season for them, somewhere around there. That was big time.
Yeah, he had a lot of saves. I thought about Joe Borowski, but he was kind of just an awful pitcher with a lot of saves, so it's kind of weird. And I thought about Andrew Miller, who's really good, but not really a closer.
Right. The only one I was on the fence about was I wanted to squeeze in Bobby Bonds, but I don't have a card of Bobby Bonds. I kind of do, but it's like an action pack card. Okay. I don't know if that kind of is a real card or it's like an oddball card or oddball set. But Bobby Bonds was one I felt like should have been in there. Roger Maris is automatic, but I just kind of wanted to play with it a little bit. And maybe there was a few others, but I just don't have their cards. And I was like, oh, that's a name. I just don't have that card. Like you have like some play balls in there and everything. They were great looking cards. So this was fun, man. I can't tell you how much fun it was to research these players and give me another avenue to look up. I spent like 2 days looking up cards, sifting through boxes because I was like, oh my Lord, I know I own Bob Wickman, but where the heck do I have this Bob Wickman card at? You had him readily available, being that yours is autographed.
Right. I have my autograph box. He was in there.
Do you have a big autograph collection?
I don't feel my collection is big at all because it's so focused, but I might have maybe 600 autographs.
That's probably like 98% more than I have. I have maybe 30, 40, maybe somewhere around there. Autograph. I just started getting into autographs. I find them cool. I find it fun because they could autograph anything. So what can you get the autograph on? So that's kind of fun. And but also I don't do TTMs. So I see a lot of people do like Tony Black and others. It's just like that is like a rabbit hole I don't think I could handle. But I'm starting to really appreciate autographs, and I'm trying to snag any Hall of Fame autograph within reason.
Okay.
What else do you PC? Do you PC bowls or anything like that?
I do. And we were going to talk about our favorite Indians Yankees moment.
Okay.
And mine is the Midges game.
Okay.
So I have I'll show you the autograph on it. Joba Chamberlain right there.
Oh, nice. Nice. I I still remember that game. The Yankees were dominating. I
Mhm.
remember it like yesterday. They were cruise control.
And I was there.
You were
I
there?
was there.
Oh my gosh.
And
Cruise control. And those midges came out like a curse. And he was just slapping and he just lost it. He lost that zone. And you smacked him like I you're gonna make me sweat right now. Such bad memories.
I'm sorry.
Is that one of your favorite moments being
It
there?
is. Yeah, it was. How can you not love a 2-1 playoff game that they win it, walk off in the 11th with bugs bugging your pitcher?
How was it in the stands? Were the bugs all over the
No, it
stands?
was fine.
It was just a field.
It was electric.
It was just Jabba Chamberlain.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave him the bug spray, which had them like they found out afterwards that they're attracted to that smell. That's
Right.
why they couldn't get off him. Oh my God. So what other I guess Sandy Alomar is probably another fond memory for you
Yeah.
against Mariano.
That was a good one. I really like Sandy's All-Star Game home run in, was it 97, I think, or 90? I think it was 97, where
Right.
he won the MVP at home by hitting a home run.
He doesn't get as much hype or notoriety, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
but he was such a great offensive player. I remember him crushing the Yankees a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could think of Albert Bell, Sandy Alomar, Carlos Baerga. What other hitters I remember? Manny Ramirez. Ugh, that guy sits a rookie. He would go into Yankee Stadium and get 4 hits, and it seemed like they were all extra base hits. It was everything up the alley, and then he would have like 40 people in the upper decks rooting for him with the Dominican flags. And I'm like, why did we not draft this guy? How did he end up an Indian? So you must have hated to see him leave, no?
I did. I remember that day. It was a tough day.
And then people like Picker Gem S, who doesn't deserve that much happiness in his life,
He doesn't.
rejoiced when Manny got there along with David and formed one of the most imposing dynamic duo in baseball history. How about with the years with Albert Bell? How was that? Like, did you ever get the sense of like steroids and anything like that with Albert Bell?
Not really. He was just super intense and scary, and like we knew he could go off at any minute, but he was still fun to watch because he was just like so into it. And
He
when
got
he's on your
robbed.
team, you love him.
He got robbed in '95. Pick a gym knows Mo Vaughn robbed him. His stats were ungodly. And Manny got robbed another year. I think it was like '98. I think he had like 160 RBIs. Like, how the hell did he not win that MVP that year? He was like fourth or fifth or something. It was crazy. And then you go on to Jim Tomei, who was a masher for so long. I couldn't believe they didn't keep him for life.
They should have.
He had Popeye forearms. I remember I saw him live.
He still does.
And his forearms were huge. And Juan Gonzalez joined your team afterwards, Ellis Burks. I remember I was sitting by the third base dugout, and they were there as the visiting team. And I was in awe looking at how huge and immense these players looked. Juan Gonzalez he was not even a Texan anymore. He was with the Indians, but he still looked like he was chiseled out of granite. Mm-hmm. And Ellis Burks looked like a superhero in a uniform. Like he was just built. And like I said, Tomei with his forearms. My gosh, you guys had such a run. I'm telling you, into 2000. Um, yeah, and then what else did we? Oh, movies. I wanted to ask you about movies. I'm a big
Movies.
movie buff.
Okay.
I think movies mirrors art. I'm wondering, do you love movies first and foremost?
I do love movies.
Yeah, is there a
Yeah.
particular genre you like?
Um, I'll watch anything, man.
Yeah.
Nothing in particular, just comedies, action, uh, indie films. Um, I have a group of friends that I've known since high school, and every Tuesday night we get together on at a meet like this, and we watch a movie together. And last night we watched Fight Club, and it was the first time in a long time I've seen Fight Club.
What's funny, I laugh only because I was in my girlfriend's house and she happened to be watching Fight Club just yesterday. So it's kind of crazy that you mentioned that.
She was watching it with me, James.
Hey! You want me to give you the Will Smith now? What's going on here? Hey! All right, so how about like Pixar? You love Pixar and CGIs and Marvel Studios, stuff like that?
Yeah, those are fun.
How do you feel about CGI?
I have no problem with it as long as it looks good. Like when it started, it was kind of cheesy,
Okay.
like I remember watching like the Lord of the Rings and seeing Gollum, and I was like, that looks dumb, but it's a lot better now, and I think it's cool.
Okay, and I love cinematography when it comes to art.
Mhm.
I'm in awe. Like the latest Batman movie, I love everything about the shots, the lighting. So sometimes that's what does it for me. 1917 was another one. I think that was a masterpiece with cinematography.
Yeah.
So whenever I watch a movie, sometimes I look to see what was the vision that the director was looking for, the cinematographer for that matter. And cinematography for movie really does it for me. Scripts sometimes they all get redundant or predictable, so I stopped looking at that. I look at the art, the acting, stuff like that. ReeseND Card Ranger wants to know, what's your favorite baseball movie?
That's a good one. It's got to be Major League.
Major League, because of the Indians.
Yep. What about you, James?
The Natural. I'm a huge. I mean, I love The Sandlot.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Jake with that one. But The Natural, when he hits that thing and it breaks the light and it's like fireworks going off, it's just the music, everything is just, and all the sparks are showering on him as he's rounding the bases. That's like such an epic scene for me. What about what would be a runner up if it's not favoritism with the Indians?
Field of Dreams is good. Don. Natural is good. I don't know. I'll sit down and watch any baseball movie. The last one I watched was it Bingo Smith and the Traveling All Stars or something like that, with the Negro League movie?
Never seen that one.
Okay, it's got James Earl Jones in it.
Okay.
And Billy D. Williams. It's really good.
Okay. There was a cartoon baseball movie I used to watch with my son. The name of that movie is escaping me right now, but basically a ball comes to life and it's Babe Ruth is in it, like a cartoon Babe Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot remember the name of it, but I always remember popping that in with my son. And that's one of my father's son things I used to love to do with him for some reason. I guess Field of Dreams also. I love the fact that the Yankees and Chicago White Sox last year played in that Field of Dreams, and it was a great game. Even though the Yankees were on the losing end, it was still a great game. You can't be a baseball fan and not come away loving that game.
But what if you don't like the Yankees or the White Sox?
Well, it was a great game, and
Okay.
it was home runs all over the place at the end. And you would think the Yankees are going to pull it out, and then they, a home run walk off. It was great. Rue Dog loves Bull Durham. Great movie.
Yeah.
Jim loves 42. Great Jackie Robinson movie. Great movie. There's so many great movies. Ziggy loves Angels in the Outfield. He thinks it was cute. Yeah, great movies. I mean, baseball had some great movies. 61 was another one right here. 61 was fantastic, the Roger Maris movie, and they went into, it was great acting also.
Bad News Bears, I like that one too.
Bad News Bears. How do you feel about the remake?
It was kind of boring.
The original always, right?
Yeah.
Even part 2 where they went into the Astrodome. I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love having these type of conversations. It doesn't feel like I'm interviewing. It just feels like a hangout, which is what I was hoping this was.
Good.
Before I say goodbye, I want to know if any of you guys watching have any questions. Look at Don. He had another one, Moneyball.
Yeah.
About that one. That's a great one. Any questions for Scott? Because I don't have them on. If you have a quick question, go right ahead. PC, definitely. Let's not do any craziness here. But if there's no questions that come in, I guess I'm going to say thank you for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me.
This was so fun. Thank you for being so brave with your captain's hat. And I'm glad I inspired that.
I got to get a white one now, though.
A white one?
Yeah.
I hope we could do this. Oh, I got one more. Magnus wants to know, how does he feel about the name The Guardians?
I am fine with it because it's not Cleveland Rocks or something dumb like that. Like, I know a lot of people hate it and a lot of people are mad, but it's not a big deal.
Are you used to saying it?
Not yet.
I don't know if I could get used to saying that.
It's going to be tough, but I'm not mad about it.
I mean, I think they chose it because it sounds like Indians, Guardians. So it's kind of like a nice transition.
Yeah,
but
a lot of people think it was lazy that they did that, but like, I get it. They wanted to keep it familiar.
Right. And I have a hard time transitioning. The Bullets, when they turned into the Wizards, I still call them the Bullets. The Titans, I still call them the Oilers. So I might call the Guardians the Indians until 23 or 24. I don't know.
I know I'll still slip up.
And I think that'll do it with the questions. I don't see anything else. Guys, viewers, I want to thank you all for joining me. Again, I want to thank you, Scott, for joining me. This was fun. This was about 50 minutes, it seems like. So it was a nice little hangout. I kind of wanted to invite some of the usual guys like Don or John or Lou, but I didn't want to overwhelm you or blitz you like that. But
well, Don's a jerk anyway. So
hey. How was that hangout, by the way, with you?
With Don, it was good.
Yeah,
we had lunch.
He didn't invite you to any gravesite or anything like that to go see some bones?
No.
Because he likes going to cemeteries in his spare time.
No, we just went to a card show and had some lunch.
Yeah. And how would you feel if we do this again with John or anyone else, Lou, in the future? Are you okay with that?
I'm good with that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll try to think of something for people to get on, and maybe a nice, cool subject. Yeah, Undrafted Player Loves a League of Their Own. That's a great movie also. But anywho, I want to thank you once again. Thank you to all the viewers. Scott, this was great fun. Thank you for giving us a format with having the lineups gave me something to think about and to
Yeah, I want to
celebrate.
see more of those.
Yeah, guys, like Jim, if you want to do one with me, I'm down to do one with you, Jim, or anyone else. Like what Scott did is something that's fun. It meshes up your favorite teams and helps you think outside the box and think of players that you normally probably don't even think about or you forgot about. But
Bob wants us to start over.
Bob Lewis,
Yep.
he missed it. You're gonna have to watch the rewatch. But yeah, I feel like I've had Scott on for quite a while now, and I'm gonna let him go back to his business. Maybe he has to go back to drawing some art there for some YouTubers. By the way, I do want to thank you before I sign off. This is the beautiful piece by my man Scott, and I love this piece. I love it. It was my idea of coming up with like a Mount Rushmore, but you executed it perfectly. Was it? Let me ask you a question. Was it crazy at first when I came up with that idea? Were you like, "Uh oh, what is this guy doing?"
That's pretty much what was going through my head.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
You're like, I regret this.
It took some figuring out, but I like a good challenge.
It came out perfect though. You said you
Good.
had to do it again. Why'd you have to do it again?
I started it the first time I did it. It was too small, and it just wasn't working right.
Okay.
So
And
I
then
wasn't happy. And
second time you threw all the ink, the charcoal on it. I remember in the video, it's like poof, it was like it spilled, but it still came out good. Well, I know a lot of people that you've been doing work for.
mm-hmm.
It's kind of like impressive that you get to leave your fingerprint or impression on the YouTube community. Not everyone is able to do something like that. Like you may have your subscribers, and then maybe in a few years you shut down your channel and that's it. It's like maybe people will remember you, but with something like this you'll last forever as a YouTuber, with especially with collectors. That is something that not many people get to say. And also everyone shows their collection and it's part of their pastime or their hobby, but you get to intertwine also your work and your passion with this collection, which is another admirable thing that I feel like you do. And I commend you for that. And you're pretty lucky for being able to do that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. How does it feel in the end? I guess last thing to say is how does it feel to be able to give that joy to the YouTube community and to present them with one of one pieces, which they are literally. How does it feel?
It is really neat to connect with people like this. I'm always looking for video ideas like 11D8 or like the Holy Grail thing, where I'm working with you guys, not just showing you a video or showing you some cards. I mean, that's cool and fun, but I wanted to do something different, and it's neat for me, I think, to be able to connect that way with everybody.
And that you have, man. You don't understand, as someone who has that piece, it's like anyone can have a baseball card and others can have that same baseball card, maybe in different, grades or, centering, yada, yada, yada. But something like this, nobody else has. And the fact that you get to create it and come up with an idea, sometimes different mediums, like with the magic markers. Even when I watch Pepino, man, and he has it in the background that it looks like the 51 mantle. That's one of a kind beauty, man. That's every time I watch that video, I'm like, Scott keeps leaving his impression on all these YouTubers. Lou Rock has the one with his daughter. It's just, these are ways that you're gonna live forever with a lot of collectors, man. And it's like no one can say that in YouTube. I could tell you that much. It's great. Anywho, on that note, along with the thank you for the work. I hope you're not crying.
Nah, I'm good.
Anywho, I want to say thank you once again for joining me. Thank you, viewers, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And hopefully we'll have Scott on really soon again with Lou, John, Don, George, a couple of the other guys, Jim maybe, and we could do this again. All right.
All right, man.
Thank you. With that being said, I'm going to say happy hunting when it comes to cards. I'm going to wish everyone to stay safe, be blessed, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.
See ya.